Hey guys, welcome to Off the Cuff. This is Nick and with Grayson.
What's up, guys?
And I forget what episode. What are we on? Episode 6,
It's like 7.
7, 6. I don't know, guys.
It'll be in the title.
We're having so much fun here that we're forgetting how many episodes we got. So yeah, we wanted to bring these back. You know, we realized that we were very sporadic with our postings. But, we've just been so busy providing content, to the company. If you guys have been following our Instagram,
Totally.
we've really been blowing up in that regard. So, we wanted to, create a new, a new and improved podcast experience for you. And, that entails more watches, and that entails some cool stuff, some more guest experiences, and some more guest appearances, rather. Something new. Eric
will be a regular visitor
Eric
of this
will be
podcast.
a regular visitor. Yeah, Eric
moved out to Brooklyn, so he'll be here.
Yeah, I know you guys.
Not every time, but
I knew you guys enjoyed. I knew you guys enjoyed the podcast with Eric. He moved out to Brooklyn to work with us a little closer. So that means that you'll be seeing more of him. And and hopefully more watches, as we're able to get more done with a 3-man team versus just me here with Grayson occasionally helping out. So let's talk about some watches.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
I guess we'll start closest to me. I think this is a watch that a lot of collectors get as their first Rolex, or at least an iteration of it. It is a Rolex Datejust with a turnograph gold bezel and a beautiful gold buckle as well. And I think this is a perfect first Rolex, right? It's not too ostentatious, even though it's gold, because it's small. It's a perfect watch to wear to the office, right?
Yeah.
And it's just classy and timeless. And you'll be able to wear this for the rest of your life and always look great.
Yeah, I think really it's one of those pieces that, you show off without showing off.
Totally.
I think that it's unique in that, when you think of someone's first Rolex, it's always a Submariner or Datejust or something like this. It's very off the beaten path, at least from my perspective. And I mean, it's affordable. I mean, you look at, watches under 5K. It's very hard to find Rolex these days. 5K and under, and this definitely fits the bill. And granted, it's not the most modern piece, but it's not a piece that reminds me of grandpa or, a great uncle. It's a piece that is classic and something that I can wear without feeling embarrassed, without feeling like I'm wearing my grandfather's watch.
Totally. And you're starting to see celebrities like Ryan Gosling, for example, wearing small vintage Rolex, right? He wears 34 millimeter Air Kings, right? On the red carpet, right? So you can rock a 36 millimeter Datejust on a strap and look great and classy. You're not going to wear it into the pool, right? But you can wear it to the office, and you can wear it on date night with your girlfriend.
And I think that the older vintage pieces are definitely making a comeback, especially these days they have so much talk about discontinuation of different pieces. And it's kind of left, I think, the end user and the consumer feeling like, okay, do I want to spend the extra money? I mean, I was talking to someone the other day, the regular Air King. When I say regular, you got the black with the green, text. It's going for about $11,000 now, and that's off the basis of something getting discontinued.
Yeah.
And, I always say, well, that's great, but, discontinuation announcements are usually the first week of April. If it doesn't get discontinued, you should pay about $3,000 more for that watch than I probably would. I think that, that watch stands pretty comfortable at about the 9K range. And, to spend an extra $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on a watch because your buddy said it's going to get discontinued, I think is crazy. I think that something like this, it's already got the depreciation curve. If it's already taken that hit, you can enjoy it, and you can enjoy it, unashamedly,
Totally.
without worrying how it's gonna, how the market is gonna impact as a whole, because, it's a piece that kind of operates outside of the market, in that sense.
Totally.
They aren't going from 5K to 6K overnight. That's a piece that's going to steadily increase, for prosperity, without really breaking the bank.
Cool. Let's move on to the next piece. Probably a
Yeah.
little bit higher in price point, but everything here is under 15K, well under 15K. For slightly more money.
Unless you want to pay us
And a
15K
different
for one of
brand.
those pieces, in which case we're not going to complain to you about it.
This is a Grand Seiko Spring Drive SPGA
I believe it's a
201.
I believe it's a 201. Yes, that's an interesting piece where they, as you know, that Grand Seiko is really popular out in Japan. They discontinued that piece, and I mean, we've had it before. We've had it, on the chopping block before, so to speak. And every time I get a piece like that, I'm very happy to get it. I mean, the sweep on this thing is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
The classic champagne dial is not something you see every day.
Really nice. Subtle in color.
It is subtle. It's
But
subtle in
nice.
color. It's not overbearing. It's a piece that I could say is a little harder to find these days. It's a piece that I think
This dial for sure. Yeah.
it's a piece that I think you have to be looking for to come across it. I don't think anyone potentially. I mean, please, I hope to be wrong, but I don't think anyone will, call me and say, "Hey, I'm looking for this piece."
The reference in particular.
Yes, this reference in particular.
They may
but
want a Grand Seiko
they
Spring
might-
Drive.
Yeah,
right?
they may
on
want
bracelet.
they may want a Grand Seiko Spring Drive, and they don't really know what they want. And then as soon as they come across this piece, that's the piece that they want.
But hey, if someone comes to you and says, "Look, I'm trying to get into watches. My budget is anything under 10K.
Yeah.
Right? I'm looking for a piece that I can wear almost every day. I work a normal desk job, whatever, and I don't want one of those overhyped watches. I just want craftsmanship." That's a great watch.
Yeah,
that could be a one-watch collection depending on your lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm picturing, the beauty about the champagne dial of this with a blue strap, fire. This with a green strap, fire. This with a brown strap. I mean, the variety there is just bar none when it comes to, the mixing and matching of this brand. I mean, the only other thing I could think of that's kind of, comes with the dexterity. I don't want to say dexterity. What's the word?
Versatility?
Versatility of something like this is probably the snowflake.
Yep.
I believe it's the 211 as a reference on the snowflake, and I mean, this is just cool. It gives off vintage vibes, but with a very modern look. It's got an open case back, so you can see the beauty of the movement, and a couple extra straps. It's the way to go with this piece.
You know what is one of the most underrated complications too is the power reserve, which one is a lot of fun when you're just winding the watch up to see it move up, which I just did right before we started filming. And two is incredibly convenient to know if you need to wind up your watch, right before you put it in the case for the evening.
Yeah.
Or if it's going to last the weekend before Monday when you go back into the office and you're going to put it back on again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean, we'll share with you. I hope Grayson doesn't mind. We had a client a couple weeks back that ended up returning a watch because he wasn't sure how it worked.
Yeah.
He said, "I got it," and You know, I'm not sure how this thing works. Does it need a battery? I don't know. It's probably one of his first watches. You know,
Automatic watches. Yeah.
Grayson had sold it privately, and if he had a power reserve,
He would have known.
he would know that, you know, basically this thing is out of juice and it needs to be wound up again. And
Yep.
you know, I mean, Grayson was fortunate enough he sold it elsewhere, but you know, that stuff happens, and
Totally.
you know, to have all the information on the dial like that as to, you know, what needs to be done, and when it's out of juice is definitely a useful tool, you know, by all means necessary. Now, this is something that we've been talking about for weeks. Since the start of this podcast, and
that I've shit on this podcast in previous episodes. Yep.
You tell me, man. I mean, how has your opinion, has it changed? You know, now that you've had it in your possession.
This is the Zenith Chronomaster Sport,
yes.
I believe, in the white dial variation. Obviously, it looks very much like a Rolex Daytona, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they're even shy about that, right?
Yeah.
You know, their movements used to be in Daytonas, right? So
Yeah.
there's a very common shared lineage that they have claimed to. You know, Zenith is a company that made the first automatic chronograph. I know it was a tight race with Seiko, and there's some controversy over that, but it's a brand that has a ton of watchmaking history, but is not known to the average Joe who's not a watch collector. You know, if you see this from very far away and you can't see the blue subdial, you probably mistake it for a Rolex Daytona on someone's wrist. The quality is right there with it for probably a fourth or maybe even a fifth of the price, depending on the condition of the Daytona you're getting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, this packs all the value. It packs historical heritage. It's not quite a Daytona, but you could buy 4 or 5 of these for the price of what Daytonas are going right now.
You're looking at about $53,000.
Yeah.
Something like that it's just under 10.
Yeah.
It's a full set. It's a beautiful piece. Very, very clean. And, you know, kind of what Grayson said, it's not a Daytona. If that's what you're looking for, save your money, save up.
Just wait.
You just wait.
Yeah.
I mean, I think these prices, I mean, as a dealer, we love to sell you stuff, but I think these prices will, you know, lessen and loosen in time. But it is a very nice alternative. If you're like, hey, I want something that looks like a Daytona, but I don't want to spend the money and I don't care for the movement, or perhaps, you know, I want something that is just empirically a better movement.
Yeah, you could say that.
This is the way to go. I mean, you know, I wouldn't necessarily call it a better movement, but it's definitely a better movement for the price point in which
certainly.
you're paying. You know, you're looking
certainly.
at about, you know, $9,800 for something like this.
Yeah.
Like Grayson said, that's about 1/5 of what, you know, Daytonas are going for in the open market these days. You're definitely getting more than 5 times the value, or you're basically getting more than you're not getting more than 5 times the value, rather, going for a Rolex Daytona.
No.
Than going for something like this.
You know what's convenient about this too, compared to the Daytona, is that there's not screw down pushers. So you can actually use the chronograph, right? Instead of sitting there with your fingers undoing all the pushers. You're never going to use that in a watch, right?
I can't tell you how many
You shouldn't
times.
go swimming with the chronograph really anyway, even though you can. This is accessible. You can time meals. You can time random life events.
Yeah.
And you don't have to unscrew the pushers on this.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, you know, practicality at its finest. I mean, you know, I don't know about you guys. Half the time when I'm wearing a watch, I'm not using 80% of what that watch is, you know, doing. I mean, I talk to people all the time, and they're like, well, how many, you know, how many meters can I dive? And I was like, oh, are you a diver? No. okay,
Are
then
you going more than a pool? No.
get the
Then
watch that
fine.
you like. You don't need to, you don't need to say no to a watch because it's, 1,000 meters. I get those guys who really like the Panoramic submersibles, and they say, how deep can I go diving? And I say, are you a diver? And maybe 1 out of 10 they tell me yeah, and I need the functionality. 9 out of 10 times. Listen, you're not flying, so it doesn't matter when you're looking at a Navitimer.
Right.
You like it looks cool, you enjoy it, it's in your price range, get it.
Totally.
You
Even if you go scuba diving, I mean, how deep are you going? 10 meters? Right,
Yeah.
You're not even getting to 50 meters.
Yeah.
And we all know that water resistance rating and the actual depth it can go is not
You're
equivalent.
taking a shower. Most
right?
guys are like, can I take a shower with this?
Can I
And that's
jump
true.
into a pool?
Yeah.
Yes.
If my friends get drunk and push me into a pool
And
my
spill
watch-
beer on my
Yeah.
wrist, is it going to be fine?
Yeah.
Then it's effectively
Yeah,
water
effectively,
resistant for
yeah.
you.
Yeah, so I mean, take that with a grain of salt. We don't encourage that you do any of that stuff as far as getting your watch wet and spilling stuff on it. But I think the Zenith is a nice bridge between
Totally.
that Daytona and the price point that you're at. And I mean, in this beautiful condition, I mean, you can't go wrong.
No, not at all. Well, I think that's all we had for you folks. So
Yeah.
we appreciate you sticking with us. These are off the cuff podcasts. They're off the cuff in terms of the scheduling for
Yeah.
when we film them as well. So
Yeah. I mean, we try to be as consistent as possible. That's something that in coming weeks we're going to try and be much more consistent.
that's right.
But we're off the cuff, and that's kind of the mindset of why we wanted to bring you guys something like this. Very unscripted, as you can see. I mean, we're always cracking jokes, or we're always talking when the other person's talking. More so
That's how it
me,
goes.
than anyone else talking when the other person's talking. But I mean, we're here to provide our value, provide our opinions, and we hope you like it. And we're glad that we were able to make it more than a couple podcasts in. We get these beautiful texts from you guys saying that we're doing a good job and that you really enjoy it, and that it's really providing you guys a lot of
Value.
enjoyable value. So I mean, thank you for that. Thank you for the messages of support. Keep them coming, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you next time, guys.
Bye bye.